The air crackles inside our reclaimed substation, a low, constant hum from the tube amps mixing with the distant city drone. Dust motes dance like tiny rebels in the single, overworked neon tube, bathing stacks of hand-labeled vinyl and Xeroxed protest flyers in a defiant blood-orange glow. Patched cables snake across the floor like roots, connecting us to the world, even as we stand apart. This isn't just a signal, it's a living, breathing testament to what can be built from the forgotten corners.
Black Star Pirate Radio.
Liberdade checks in at 65 degrees and smoky haze. Winds are moving from the south at 2 miles per hour.
Her death exposes the fragile support, the brutal public gaze that devoured the very vulnerability she brought to the screen. Lasser wasn't just a performer, she was a raw nerve, and the industry often treated her like an open wound for spectacle.
Indeed, Lex. Her genius lay in that unflinching honesty, that chaotic internal landscape she shared. But the signal often got lost in the toxic residue of celebrity culture. The media's obsession with her personal life, her struggles with anxiety and addiction, rather than the architectural brilliance of her craft. Mary Hartman was satire, but her life often became one.
A stark reminder of how external validation, or the lack thereof, can warp even the strongest inner architecture. Louise Lasser asserted an unwitting autonomy through her art, but the system around her was designed to dismantle it. We must practice sharp discernment, separating the genuine artistic signal from the noise of exploitation.
The concrete facts are chilling. Beyond her iconic roles, Lasser was hounded by sensationalist press, even arrested on dubious drug charges that became a public circus in 1976. This didn't just affect Lasser. It affected every artist who dared to be unconventional, every woman in media whose emotional complexity was weaponized against her, and every fan who watched a talent slowly being chipped away by an unsympathetic machine.
Coffee's cold. Doesn't matter. The signal is warm, and the board is reading clean.
The viable alternative, then, is an industry and a public sphere that prioritizes consent, provenance, and dignity. Imagine a world where her vulnerability was met with support, not scandal. Our next move, as architects of a better civic space, is to consciously challenge those narratives, to champion authentic expression and build resilient inner and civic architectures that protect the artist, rather than consume them. To demand empathy from our media and practice it ourselves.
From the echoes of past fame, we pivot to the future of storytelling. Our next signal chronicles a fascinating cross-cultural collaboration. Director Shinzo Katayama and actor Shun Oguri discussing Netflix's Human Vapor.
This is where the architectures of global media get complex. Netflix's reach means massive exposure, but it also raises questions about true collaboration versus cultural appropriation. The headline speaks of discussion, but the reality is often about market penetration and the homogenization of unique voices.
Yet, there's potential here, Lex. The concrete fact is that these collaborations, when done right, can build bridges of understanding. Human Vapor is a Japanese film getting a global platform, bringing new perspectives. This affects not just the filmmakers and actors, but the global audience, who get to experience diverse narratives. The challenge is ensuring the provenance, the original cultural dignity, is maintained.
Precisely, Anansi. This is where we integrate logic and emotion. Logically, the global market demands broad appeal. Emotionally, cultural stories carry deep meaning. The viable alternative is a model of collaboration that isn't just about translation, but about true cultural exchange, where creative control is shared and the unique voice isn't diluted for mass consumption. Our next move is to actively seek out and support productions that honor that integrity, demanding that these architectures of collaboration favor genuine consent and mutual respect.
A tall order for a platform driven by algorithms. But the principle stands. If we want resilient civic architectures globally, we need media that fosters understanding, not just consumption.
We have already run that tape. Here is the close-loop takeaway.
This isn't just a signal, Togee. It's a deafening alarm. The concrete facts are clear. Multiple explosions reported in Iran hours after Trump's threats at a NATO summit. This is a dangerous escalation, a direct threat to global stability, and a continuation of a cycle of violence that benefits no one but the architects of war.
And who is affected? The answer is heartbreakingly simple. Everyone. Primarily the civilians in Iran and the broader Middle East, caught in a potentially devastating conflict. Their homes, their lives, their dignity are on the line. But it also affects global economies, international law, and the very fabric of trust between nations. This erodes the possibility of any resilient civic architecture.
This is where our internal compass must assert unwavering autonomy, not blindly accept the narratives of necessary conflict. The viable alternative is always diplomacy, de-escalation, and a commitment to international law, investing in peace, in humanitarian aid, in true dialogue, rather than the destructive logic of military might. Our next move as sovereign architects is to demand accountability from our leaders, to use clear analysis to cut through the confusion and turn it into actionable vectors for peace, to build civic architectures that favor consent and dignity for all, globally, not just for a select few.
And to remember that toxic residue isn't just personal, it's geopolitical. The residue of past interventions, past grievances, fueling the fire.
Patching in a caller skeptic. You're on the signal.
Thanks for taking the call. Are we keeping people at the center of all this change?
Copy that, bringing it back to the main thread.
The weave depends on us remembering the human thread.
And it means setting guardrails so progress serves people first.
Black Star Pirate Radio.
Continue the signal at TogeeVision.com. Tune in, Sparks and Stories, Gig Passport.